Boom. All right, y'all. So we're going to dive into kind of piggybacking on last week's episode, talking about, we mentioned Chuck had to go to see his physical therapist because of some bumps and bruises along the way. Congrats again on getting your purple belt. Sometimes it puts a target on your back. So there's some variables you have to deal with there. And whether you're doing jiu-jitsu, whether you're doing Muay Thai or other martial arts, and if you're not doing martial arts, maybe you're not even doing athletics in general, but you're training, or even, I bet you, guess what? Even if you're not training and you're just trying to invest in your health and your fitness, you probably have some bumps and bruises along the way, working behind a desk, sitting in a car, any one of those variables, lack of movement. We're going to dig into some options here that we find helpful that you guys can apply and start doing literally today. That will make an impact between your back, hamstrings, between your abs, your shoulders. All these variables are knees. They're common like talking points that we figure with your neck, right, Chuck? So we'll dig into that.
Yeah, big time. Because listen, no matter what you're doing, if you're just working out, going to the gym every day, if you're just sitting behind a desk, or if you're doing any type of martial arts, your body needs time to recover. If you're not as mobile because you're sitting behind a desk all day, you got to get up and you got to move. You got to get stretched out. You got to do what's right for your body. And I'm the number one criminal when it comes to not taking care of my body and not listening to my body and not properly stretching out my body. I'll preach it to everybody that they got to do it. And I'm like the number one criminal when it comes to not doing it. So what I end up doing constantly is getting myself hurt. And luckily I've surrounded myself with a team of doctors who fix me all the time, which is also a great method to do. Make sure you have a good, Dr. Amato fixed me today. So good. He spent an hour on me. It was so great. But it's great to have a network of doctors around you that also I refer people out to constantly. As soon as I got to Dr. Amato, he's like, dude, you just send me 2 more people. Thank you. But it's great that, I have this network of doctors that I can not only take advantage of myself, but also send people out to. But I'm not saying you have to go that route and surround yourself with a bunch of doctors. There's so many things you can do when it comes to just stretching out. Or, if you're lifting every single day, take one day to just do a mobility day. Things like this. Take 20 minutes to walk every single night just to it's a big one. That's a big one. I know it's a big one. We go on walks every single night. I know it's getting a little bit colder outside. You don't want to go out because it's too cold out. Listen, even though it's cold outside, throw a jacket on and go for a walk.
And one thing I'll plug really quick that I like the cold. I mean, the cold's not always great when it's like sub 20 degrees or whatever. Let's say you're in Canada or certain areas of the Midwest, wherever you are, that's super, super cold and it's not healthy to go outside. That's one variable. However, in New York and in the tri-state area, even when it does get cold, we can handle it, right? Like even here in the mountains in North Carolina, we can handle it. It's fine. And anywhere you are, Colorado or anywhere in between, obviously be mindful and safe. But an interesting benefit to going out in the cold that I always like to highlight is when you can go out in the cold and expose yourself to that, it does something to your body called browning the fat, which is, I guess that's not a very technical term. That's usually what's commonly referred to as. And the idea is we have mitochondria in our cells. And as we start to expose ourselves to cold, it increases not only the efficiency of the mitochondria, but the density of the mitochondria, where energy is coming from. So that it actually ends up burning more calories. That's partially why, like another variable is like when you start to get really cold, you shiver. Your body's burning more calories to warm itself up. But we can leverage that. I'm not saying go out in the cold and start to shiver, but even with a jacket on, even with all the thermals and all that fun stuff, just by exposing your body to it, it creates this response to your mitochondria and your cells, and you actually end up burning more calories, which, hey, for not doing anything besides going out for a walk, that's a pretty awesome bonus that I would just highlight and always recommend to everybody wherever possible. So that's one, right, Chuck? The second one I wanted to kind of bring out there is what we're going to do is we're going to put all of this, at least the helpful ones for us, from what you have soft tissue tools like foam roller or lacrosse ball, anything like that, or you don't have anything. Again, I said earlier that you could do this starting today. Look below. We're going to have a PDF where it goes through stretches that you can do with no equipment. You could do with a towel. You could do with a foam roller and lacrosse ball. Like, for example, talking about simple internal, external rotations. We're not going to get super technical here, but getting those hands up, internally and externally rotating. Simple, or like the zipper test where you try and go back here, get back here. And to Chuck's point, whether it's you carve out 10 to 20 minutes in the day to go for a walk and work in some mobility, or you guys know that if you've seen any of the programs we put out or you're a client of ours and you've seen that kind of stuff, we're a big fan of warming up and cooling down. And I hate it, just to Chuck's point. I hate it myself. I don't enjoy doing it, but I work it into the program because the cool thing is, guess what? If you care about your lifts or you care about how you perform, you'll actually perform better when you warm up and stretch properly and actually be able to get to bed or go on with the rest of your day at the end of a workout when you do the proper cool down. So I got to pick my coffee.
Yeah, big fan. Yeah, drink that coffee. I just had a client reach out to me about a month ago, and he was having such a hard time getting to a 225-pound bench. And I could see, number one, his form was way off. And I was asking him about his program and how he was doing it. And he was just going in cold. He wasn't neurologically firing his body up to handle the load. And that was a big thing. So I worked him through a bunch of mobility work and a bunch of pre-things to do, pre-exercises to do before, like, just to fine-tune your body to be able to handle the load. Reaches out to me 2 weeks later. He's like, dude, I'm doing a 3x3 with 225. I was like, oh yeah, because you needed to prime your body, just like turning an engine on. You know, when your car is cold in the middle of the winter, you want to turn it on and let it run for a little while. Same thing. If you go into a workout cold and you're going to lift some heavy weights, or not, you don't even have to lift heavy weights. If you're just going to lift weights and put load onto your body, you want your body to be able to handle the load. So turn your body on, start priming your body to be able to handle the load. Same thing, even if you're doing like yoga or going HIIT or doing any type of workout, you want your body primed to be able to handle the workout. And that way, after the workout, even after the workout, just sit there, maybe do some breathing techniques after the workout, just to slow your heart rate down, get your body back in tune to not, being as high paced when you're doing the workout. And that way you'll recover better at night. These are things, again, Mike and I preach them all the time, but I guarantee you Mike's not doing it, and I know I'm not doing it.
This is where, like, I've made it. Don't call me out like that, but yeah, call me out.
I'm calling you.
Yeah, call me out like that. That's good accountability. One thing I have paid attention to, even at home, when, like, in the gym, especially, I've noticed, like, when I'm back in Rogue or back in the gym and people are around, I try to be even more mindful of that because I want to set a good example. But when I'm by myself, I do have that tendency, but I've made it a conscious effort over the last 3 to 6 months, especially, to foam roll, even adding those sessions, but at least dynamic stretch and warm up before and cool down afterwards. But now more so, even taking 10 minutes in the day and foam rolling. On Sundays, I'm not doing anything besides maybe walking or things like that. I work in the foam rolling. Even if it's just once every 2 to 3 days, I find it to be extremely helpful and impactful. And that's where, again, guys, this is something that, whether, again, you're a high-level athlete, like I've worked with, shout out a bunch of the guys from Phuket Top Team and everywhere in between, of like Pascal, #1 Muay Thai 155 around the world, and K1, Panda Banks, the former #1 WBC heavyweight world champion. Like, these high-level guys, and everyone even down to like your fitness enthusiasts and everyone in between, we have to warm up, we have to mobilize, we have to cool down to, again, to Chuck's point, fire your body up. But then also what's interesting that I think sometimes we also can lose is at the end of a workout, when you're working out, you're putting your body usually in a fight or flight mode. You're going into that sympathetic state. When you are getting out of that, if you don't properly transition to a parasympathetic state, that rest and digest mode, whether you have more stuff to do the rest of the day or you're trying to go to bed, you're not going to properly, digest the food that you're taking in because you're still in that stressed out mode. Your body's just going to like excrete it as quickly as possible and not absorb all the nutrients. And B, if you're trying to go to bed, your body's going to be worked up. You're not going to be able to sleep. And I know this firsthand because I'm like, tonight, for example, I'm probably going to work out at 8 o'clock at night. I'm not going to drink coffee at 4. This is my last cup of coffee at 3 o'clock, which I know that's my threshold of where I can have it. I'm not going to do a pre-workout with a stimulant. I'm going to do creatine monohydrate, maybe some beta-alanine to get some tinglies. Love those tingles. And other than that, that's all I'm going to do. And then I'm going to properly cool down. So I went on a bit of a rant there, but the idea is to give you guys that idea of how important that is. And even if you're at your desk right now, there's, again, go to that PDF. We have stretches you can do at your desk with no equipment that you can make sure that you're mobilizing.
Even just if you're sitting at your desk, take your shoes off and get a lacrosse ball underneath your foot and roll that out on the bottom of your foot as you're sitting at your desk throughout the course of the day. And that'll, believe it or not, it'll release a lot, because your nerves are all the way down to the bottom of your foot. So if you're stimulating those nerves by rolling that lacrosse ball on the bottom of your foot, that's going to release a lot of your muscle tissue throughout the course of the day. And again, if you're sitting there at your desk and you're in the same position all day long, your body tends to, obviously it's not getting mobile. It's going to get, the fascia is going to be a little tense around your body. Make sure you're hydrating and get that lacrosse ball underneath your foot throughout the course of the day. You'll feel 100% better.
Boom. So those are like, we just want to touch on some quick points here. Again, we wanted to, this one's going to be a little bit quicker because we're piggybacking. You guys might have noticed from the last episode to this one, we're wearing the same thing.
Same clothes.
Literally, yeah, we're doing this back to back because I wanted to just like kind of piggyback on this time, because time is always a variable for everybody, including myself and Chuck, but we're always going to get it in no matter what, guys. And that's what we ask for you, to be able to just invest in yourselves, whether it's 5 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, whatever it looks like. Find the time, make it a priority, and give these a try. Again, get the PDF below, give them a shot, give it a fair shot before you even start to critique or anything like that, and see the impact it'll have on how you perform, how you feel, and even quality of sleep, and the impact it can even have from a nutritional standpoint. Because if you're sleeping better, you're going to have the ability to not make as poor decisions in every aspect of your life. So that's my spiel. Chuck, I'm going to kick it to you, and then we'll shut it down for the day.
Yeah, one thing to add on there, when you're doing the stretches, especially like with a lacrosse ball, if it's uncomfortable while you're doing it, it means you need it. So make sure that you're doing the stretch properly, pay attention to the technique. But if you're uncomfortable while you're doing it, it means your body really needs it. So pay attention to it and do it more frequently until that uncomfortable level starts to diminish. And that means your body is now opening up. You're starting to open up those joints. You're starting to release the muscle tissue, and your body will start to feel a much better. So pay attention to that when you're doing those stretches, everybody, and make sure you do them, because if not, I'm going to send Mike to come find you, and he's going to force you to do them. Yeah.
Right, Chuck. I'll find you guys. I know where you live. Got your IP address. We'll figure it out. We're pretty creative when it comes to that. Anyways, again, appreciate you guys. Chuck, you're the man as always. Everybody watching, listening, you're awesome as well. Keep getting after it, and we'll check you guys on the next episode.
Stay safe, everybody.